In this lecture, we'll learn how and when to use the Revolve 3D modeling tool. To demonstrate where this tool is used, I've shown some examples here. So on the left-hand side are models that would typically be modeled using the extrusion tool, whereas on the right-hand side, we would use the Revolve tool. So the Revolve tool enables us to rotate a 2D profile about an axis, thus generating complex geometries such as gears and rotary components. So in today's lecture, let's Revolve model a rotary part. This is the sketch profile that we'll be working with, and then once we've complete that sketch, we'll then proceed to revolve this around one of the default axes. So jumping into Fusion, let's go under Create Sketch, and for this we could choose any of the default planes, and then we'll select the according axis for us to revolve that around. In this case, I'm going to go with the YZ plane. So I'm going to start with the line tool, hit L on the keyboard, and I'm going to start above the origin. So if we move the mouse over the origin and then come up, we can see we've got that snapping line there available. Let's left click there once, and let's come across by 100. And then I want to dimension this line here from the origin at a distance of 15 mil. And so once our sketch is complete up here, we'll then be revolving around this axis here. Let's continue in the line tool. We'll go from this endpoint, come vertical 40, come across 60, and then from here we want to come down and snap onto the endpoint of our 100 mil line here. Let's also put in a constraint, so let's do a vertical constraint between the origin and this point here, so that everything is then fully defined, everything's fully constrained, and we can see the red padlock there. That's good. I'm just going to tidy up these dimensions quickly. Then let's come up to finish the sketch. Let's go on the home view and have a look at that. So we see our profile there. That's only one profile available. Let's come up to solid, and then we're going to select the Revolve tool. If we left click that once, our toolbox pops up. We need to define the profile. So Fusion has automatically selected this profile for us because it's the only one available. Then under axis, we need to choose one of the default axes. So we've got three here. Blue, which is the Z, red is the X, and the green is the Y. So in this case, we want to revolve this profile around the Y axis. So I'll select that one. Or alternatively, we can actually select it from the, we should exit that. Alternatively, we can actually select it under the origin folder here. So we've got the 3 axis here. So we could just click Y, like so. On the home view, I'm going to turn off the grid. Then under the options, the main option is the extent type. So typically that should be on full, okay, which is a 360-degree revolution. We've also got the option of partial as well. So this is where, let's say, we can rotate it by an angle of 180, or if we want to flip the direction, put a minus in front of it, and then we'll just have that 180 revolution, or we could go, let's say, 270. Another option we have is to an object, so that's when it comes into contact or interferes with another object. And in this case, we don't have that, so we won't be doing that today. Let's go ahead with partial on minus 270. In terms of direction, so we're just revolving in one direction, but we have got the option to go 2 sides. So if we go 2 sides, we have 2 angles here. Just need to be careful about the minus. So in this case, we're going minus 270. Let's go minus 135. And let's also go the other direction. So we can just bring the wheel around like so. Okay, and that's also a negative. So negative 135 in both directions. That gives us this. And we've also got the option for symmetric as well. So just like extrude, it will revolve in both directions. So if I type in, let's just go with 90. Okay, so that's essentially 90 degrees in each direction. But I'm going to keep that as one side. Let's go partial, and let's do minus 270. And in terms of the operation, yeah, we want this to be the new body, the first body in this design. Click OK. And there we have our revolve part. So that is the basics. We want to start off with a sketch. Okay, and then we need an axis to revolve that round. Now in this case, I used one of the default axes, but it might be that you're working away from the default axis, in which case you can input your own. So for example, I can actually draw a line in, let's say here. And then if I finish that sketch, I'm going to delete this feature down here in the timeline. So delete that revolve feature. We've still got our sketch there. We'll come under solid, hit revolve. We'll select our profile here. Then under axis, I'm just going to select the line that I drew in here. Okay, and we can see it's the same shape, but instead of revolving around the y-axis here, we've now revolved around our own line, like so. Okay, so that's an overview of the Revolve tool. It's used somewhat regularly, but it's good to appreciate so that when we do come across these complex geometries, we know that there is a more suitable tool as opposed to the extrusion tool, which would be quite tricky and time-consuming for a part like this. And we'll be doing examples later in the course when we use the Revolve tool as well. And so I'll see you in the next lecture.